It's Bumblebee, folks. That's how he appeared in the '86 film. The one he wasn't the star of. I also believe he could talk normally, too. Hello, everybody. Sparkster1701 here. And we're kicking off our month of June by looking at some Studio 86 figures. I've had a hard time finding a lot of them of late, so I do apologize for how long it has taken. But now we're going to be able to get some going. We're going to kick this month off with Bumblebee. A character who has become quite popular of late thanks to his appearances in all the live-action films. But this was how Bumblebee looked in the 1980s cartoon. At least reasonably. I don't think he had this much kibble on the back, but oh well. Like with all studio figures, we'll start by looking at his backdrop. And this one features the interior of Unicron. So this is basically setting up the Autobot escape at the climax of the film. It's a shame that they put this in a small figure. I think it would have been better if it went with a larger figure, like Galvatron or Rodimus Prime, so that way you could have all of the characters together. But unfortunately, the Studio 86 line will be retired out this year. Which is kind of a shame. I think they should have done it next year, since next year would have been the 40th anniversary of the film's release. But then again, I've also seen Galvatron in the stores, and we're not going to waste money on Galvatron, folks, because the mold and everything about him is just a reuse of the Kingdom Galvatron and the Legacy Galvatron. He's just painted up more to match how he appeared in the film. And I think the Legacy version did. I think the Kingdom version, the one I've reviewed here on the channel, was a close enough proximity. So I'm happy with it. That, and with all these tariffs going to increase the price of toys, they better be worth it. Repaints certainly are not worth it. At any rate, let's check Bumblebee out here. It retains a lot of the classic elements that make it instantly recognizable, so that's always good. Although his alternate mode is a stylized Volkswagen Beetle. It's not a decent representation of it. Obviously, Hasbro didn't want to pay the license fees for it. But yet they're willing to pay Disney all sorts of money to put out Star Wars and Marvel products, and nobody's buying them. You can check out all sorts of videos online. So there's another YouTube channel out there that shows all of those at Ollie's, and Ollie's can't move them. That's bad when even Ollie's can't move anything. Maybe I should be checking them for Transformers. At any rate, let's take a look at Bumblebee's lone accessory. And it is his gun. It's a nice looking science fiction-y gun. If I can hold it in my hands right. The gun also does have a post extending out from the one side. Because that way, if you don't want Bumblebee to hold it in his hands, you can actually stow it on his backside. And then that way, Bumblebee can be like how he was through most of the movie. He didn't carry his gun. That works. That's always good. It's always nice to have a way for the characters to hold some of their accessories. At any rate, let's take a look at Bumblebee's articulation. Before we get into that, a quick mention. Bumblebee's voice actor is going to be at BotCon this year. He's one of the featured guests. So if you're going to be in Fort Wayne, I think it's next weekend or the weekend after. No, it's next weekend. He will be at BotCon. So if you're going to be in Fort Wayne, go check it out. At any rate, get the gun out of the way. Bumblebee's articulation is as follows. You can turn his head from side to side, and it is on a ball joint, so it will move up and down. You can move his arms out to the side about so far. And his arms do rotate at the shoulder all the way around. You do have to watch out for some of the car kibble, though. You can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees, and he does feature a swivel at the bicep. So he has G.I. Joe battle grip. You can twist Bumblebee at his hips, so you can get some dance moves going there with him. Get Blaster along with him, you can have a good party. You can spread his legs apart into a full splits. He does have a good thigh cut going. You can raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend him at the knee 90 degrees, plus you get some slight articulation at the ankle, depending on how much his knees are bent. So that's pretty good for a little deluxe class figure. He's got plenty of articulation. And judging from what I've seen in my local stores, there's plenty of him on the shelf, too. Okay, to transform Bumblebee, it's a relatively simple process. I know easier said than done, but we say it anyways. Come up here, we're going to get the car to shift, the car rear to shift back and to fold it somewhat forward. We don't need to detach him at the head yet. Come around here to his chest, you're going to pop that open. Then you fold Bumblebee's head into it. And this I want you to see, folks. While the whole unit does move like that, Bumblebee's head does have a hinge at the front. And that's what they're telling you to bend to fold his head inside. So make sure you do it like that. Then you can raise up the entirety of his backside, like so. Once that's all raised up, then you can close his chest in and bend his arms at the elbow all the way. And then rotate them so that his fists now point down to his feet. Then we are going to fold out his shoulders like so, and then rotate them so that the tires can now be seen from the front. We'll come down here to his feet, pop the lower section of these black bars out, and fold them down like so. And we'll turn him around and we can open up these rear panels at the back of his feet. Fold the black pieces inside. Come down here and you'll fold up these little black feet. And then you can put his feet together. Like so. Then we're going to come up here and you will fold him down at the hip. So there's this black tab protruding out his butt, and you connect that into the hip just like that. And then we start the complicated move of swinging his legs around so that we can get the entirety of the body to fold inwards. Does take a bit of effort to get it to work out. We're doing something not right here. Let's check that. Okay, part of the problem was he wasn't getting his knees to bend. That would certainly help things in a lot of matters. Would be if his knees would bend right. We got to get the knees to bend in this direction so that way he folds up. And then the hips can be folded upwards into the body like so. There we go. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting it. A little complicated. There we go. Get it all lined up and connected together like so. Then you can bring his arms down. His arms do have a post and hole on them, so you can bring them in and connect them. There we go, just like that. And then we go through the complicated motions of folding up the rear of the car so that it connects on. And then there we have it, folks. Bumblebee in his alternate car form. It is done up as a slightly stylized, super deformed Volkswagen Beetle. Because, I mean, the front is clearly designed to look like it, but since everything's all sharp and angular, it does not resemble the classic car in any way, shape, manner, or form. But it does roll pretty good on the table, so I will give it that. And of course, the gun can still be connected into the rear bumper, just like that. And there we have it. A rather nice version of Bumblebee. But as we get into my thoughts, I think the design could have been done somewhat better, as it is a bit of a pain to get the legs to fold up in the way that they're supposed to. I can imagine, though, if it's played with a lot, that'll probably loosen up and make it easier. But then it'll probably make it harder to pose him as the robot. So it's kind of a give and take on that, my friends. While the robot mode's pretty good on Bumblebee, I'm not a fan of how they changed the alternate mode. It doesn't really look like Bumblebee. I mean, granted, yeah, part of it was done so they didn't have to pay Volkswagen. I get that. I don't approve of it, but I do get it. Because if you've been through this video up to now, you kind of know why I've said it, so it doesn't bear repeating. But all in all, this isn't a bad version of Bumblebee. It's a good representation of how he appeared in the animated film and its respective cartoon. So if you are definitely a fan of old school Bumblebee, this is probably a toy for you. Better grab it up before they disappear. At any rate, that's my look at Studio 86 Bumblebee. I hope you all enjoyed it. And please do remember that if you love the content we feature on this channel, I would certainly appreciate a like, share, comments, and a subscription. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.